Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how I modeled this and animated, textured and animated using just tubes. So I put this tube in here and then change the orientation to positive Z or positive Z, then adjust the radius so I'm just doing naming here so that I know which tube I'm working with. So I'll call this one outside tube and then I duplicate it. Duplicating, you can hold control, click and drag down to duplicate. So that's the next tube. So this is going to be our speaker. So just adjusting the outer radius and the inner radius. And guys, this is just a basic modeling technique that any beginner can follow along. Then I added a torus, then change the orientation to Z, positive. Adjust the radius, the inner radius and the outer radius. So I added another tube and called it inner, the inner tube, the one close to the torus. So this is how it looks. So just select everything and then reduce the height. I think I should also increase ring segments to have a smoother ring. Just needed to adjust the size of the ring and position just to intersect a little. So this is the most basic way of modeling a speaker, just with the already existing shapes, just changing their sizes and arrangement. So I enable fillets and give it a radius of 2 centimeters, then rotation segment of 76 so that you have a smooth round tube. I also did that to the torus. You have something like this. Then I am going to add a sphere like so. Let's just rename this torus to Rasta. Yeah, Rasta ring. So I added a sphere and then named it base plate, and then changed it into a hemisphere. And then rotation, changed the rotation to negative 90. Not negative but 90. No, should be negative 90, sorry. So changed it to negative 90. Then increase the radius to slightly touch the raster ring or the torus. Then also increased the segments to 72. You can use 72 or 76, whichever. If your computer can handle it, then it's okay. Then I scaled the Y to about 1.25, 1.2. And the rest remain the same. So I duplicating the same sphere and I'm just changing the name and tweaking few settings to have that middle part of the speaker. So return back the sizes and then rotation to -90 now, because you want that middle part to face outside. And then scale it down this and then move it back to the Z space to just touch the base plate, slightly touch the base plate like so. Then selected both, just adjust the position a little. Then I think there is a space between the base plate and the torus, so I'm increasing that radius a little, then reducing that intersection, so you'll have something like that. Yeah, so mostly because we will be focusing on the front of the speakers, so we don't need to, I didn't see the need to focus much on designing the backside. So I'm seeing some intersections here that I just need to adjust. It's increasing the radius of the torus to cover it. Oh, it's called rastering in this case. So so it looks like that. Then now I'm bringing the Illustrator file that I pre-designed earlier to create the music note, but then let me just save it first. So I'm going to save it as jam. The original design was jam down for a show running on our local TVs, but now someone asked me to show them how I did this, and mostly the texturing and the animation part. So this would be a 3-part series where I do this animation, and then there's a part where I'll be doing texturing, and then there's a part that I'll be doing the animation. So this is how it looks. So I selected everything and group and call the main speaker. Just make sure you save your work. So file, then merge, then I bring the note that I already created. This is easy to create. If you don't know how to create this, you just ask and I'll make a tutorial on it. But to create a Illustrator file that you can import in Cinema 4D is not that hard. Then I added a bev extrude knob, changed it to note. So that is our note. Yeah, so just moving it to the Z space, to the positive side, reduce the bevel, add fillets and caps. So I think this doesn't look so bad. Move it, just let it intersect just a little, and then just want to align it with one of these circles, but then we want it to be on the side like the previous original design. So let's move it to the side a little, and then trying to align those curves and the outer part of the speaker. So something like that I think looks okay. Yeah, I think something like that looks okay. So then I was just keep saving. I remember saving than the tools I'm using. So yeah, so I'm going to add text. So I wanted more graph, more text. So in this more text, it will be having three segments. So this first one, I'll just pick a font, just use that font, and then this one will only have the letter J, capital J, something like that, and then I want it to be italic. So there's the height 300. At least it's a little bit bigger than the rest, because that's the key letter for the word jam town. So then I need to move it to intersect a little. So we have that. So I'm just adjusting. I'm adding caps and fillets. I don't think I need both at the back and front. We'll see about that when we continue, but I don't think I need the front part and the back part. I think I just need the front one. So just need to add caps and fillet on the front part. So just another thing, just rename your things in order so that you remember what you're touching. So I just duplicated that the same way, control, click, drag, changed it to arm to form the jam, and then I reduce it a little and I move it up so that it reduces this size to 200, and then change the view. Just go there and try to align the top part with the J so that you have something like that. But again, I think it should be only the J should be italic, but as we move on, we will still tweak things to our liking, or you can also be tweaking them the way you want them to look like. Change few things the way you want to, as you please, what looks good for you. Yeah, so still here, I don't know if it should I have it italic? Yeah, decision making. So I think I'll just have it as regular, but then things can still change. It doesn't change the concept, but there's a few changes to make it look better. So apparently I need that back caps and fillet, but at least reduced. I think when you reduce it just a little, makes it look more cleaner. I think that's okay. So what we are going to add next is we're going to save. Don't forget to save your work. Yeah, so we're going to add town. So because it's a jam town, the original design was for Jam Down. It's a show running on one of the local TVs. So here, so we just have it there like that, but we need it to have like a background. So let's just adjust it and give room for adding the background. So I'm going to have something like that. So we'll just center it so the left and right can be used for the background, and move it down a little. I was thinking of making it italic too, but yeah, those are prone to changes. We might change it or leave it the way it is. So this is how it looks. So we're going to add a rectangle. It's easier to control a spline than a block. So I'll add in a rectangle and then make it editable. You can also click letter C to make it editable. Before I move it down, add an extrude knob, put it inside the extrude, and then just arrange them according to how, because it's the background of the jam of the town. I'll call it Jam Town. Make it editable, select now you can move it with the group and then make it editable. It's already made editable. So now we select the points, the top points, the two top points, those points, and then we slide them a little to align with the T and also aligning with the letter N. So we'll have something like that. I think it's too big. I think it's really big. So you need to go again and select those points. select those points, bring them down, slide them a little to the left, select all of them, and then add a little bit of chamfer. Need to chamfer vertex, so chamfer, then just slide them a little, gives them a little bit of smoothness. So I could have done that before making it editable, but I think having more control over it like that, it's okay. So I'll just move it a little bit front, Z positive. And then I think the depth of these texts too much, just reduce them a little. Yeah, I think I should also reduce this to around 8 or 9 apple. Then I'll select these two and then move them back, group them, and then move them back like so. Then let me see, yeah, so just move this down a little, then outside, and then also move this, not too close but not intersecting, something like that. I think that's okay. So this is it. So thank you for watching part 1 of this series. So the next will be texturing.